are delusional for a bunch of different reasons. I don't think that's an Israeli-specific phenomenon. We felt a little bit of that after 9/11, when people bought the lies about there were many lies about 9/11, but the net result was to convince Americans that they were under siege from global Islam, that there were a billion people trying to kill them. I felt this way myself. And many times I said on television, the problem is Islam, the problem is Muslims. Like, they all want to kill us. They're all crazy. They're all in this lunatic suicide cult created by Muhammad in the 7th century. And I believe that. I was hysterical. I believed that. No, that's not true.
Imagine being stupid enough to fall for this bit, man.
Nothing about that is true. But I believed it. So it's a little harder for me to judge Israelis when they're like, every Arab, Christian or Muslim, it doesn't matter. Arabs are by definition committed to the extermination of Jews, and we must kill them before they kill us. Like, they believe that.
Tucker Carlson called Iraqis semi-literate primitive monkeys. He's never believed a damn thing he said. Does Tucker believe in anything? That he should die wealthy, I assume. No, yeah. Swear to God, this sympathy tour has just been so unbelievably frustrating to watch in live time. Yeah, unfortunately, like, we've seen this over the past couple of years, that, like, anti-Israeli sentiment is giving way to a very, very cynical kind of, like, class of Muslim convert, or I guess Islamo-sympathy, where people on the right in America start talking, they start doing, like, Western Sharia law or whatever, you know? Tucker Carlson did this, Sneeko did this like, well, actually, you know, now that the veil's been lifted from my eyes and I'm no longer being blinded by Israeli Hezbollah or whatever, in reality, actually, Islam is is the real trad way of living or whatever. I'm not saying Tucker Carlson's necessarily doing that, but Tucker Carlson knew he was lying after 9/11, and he knows he's lying now. All three Abrahamic religions fucking suck. I just got the other day Persepolis. You know, I never actually read it. I know, big gap in my reading. But ever since the lady died, I thought I should really give that a read, and then I'll watch the movie. And, yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. What's the book's name? Persepolis. Satrapi, yeah. How do you spell it? The way it sounds. Been doing a lot of this, huh?
To undermine Britain's democracy. That he's...
Britain's what?
Democracy.
You guys don't have a democracy. What are you talking about?
We do. We do have a democracy, and we can talk about all of those issues.
George Galloway would be the prime minister if you had a democracy.
Well, we can talk about all the issues that you're concerned about, including free speech.
I just love George Galloway. I just want to say that.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear that.
George. He knows. I told him many times. He's living in exile. He can't even go back to the UK where he's from.
Yeah. His forced laughter is disgusting. It is. It's hysterical. I mean that in the bad. I mean it in like the 19th century Victorian sanatorium kind of way, you know? You'd love him. He has no real beliefs either. Yeah. No, I can't stand. I can't stand the bit, and people keep falling for it too. The one thing for which Tucker Carlson should be credited, it's not even a testament to his character, it's just the fact that his access to right-wing politicians means that he can get off good bits of them. Yes, when he commits to pressing them, he does a good job. But this, like, I fully believed all the post 9/11 propaganda, fuck off. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of pro-Islam shit lately, but it's all part of the anti-Israel bent. He's going to endorse J.D. Vance in 2028 as J.D. Vance runs on an anti-Israel ticket.
And their Muslim rulers didn't do that during the Ottoman period.
Okay, so the answer is no. The Muslim rulers didn't tax churches during the Ottoman period. They were very kind to Christians. As a matter of fact, they took care of our holy sites. They had rebuilt Islamic authorities rebuilt the Church of the Sepulchre 3 different times over the centuries. They had a law protecting Christian pilgrims on their journey. Like, nobody messed with
the Ottoman Turks, the Muslim rulers of the Holy Land, rebuilt the Church of the Holy Sepulchre 3 times.
3 times, yeah. Either completely rebuilt it or a major renovation. One time it caught on fire and they redid the roof. But if you've seen the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, you can imagine what it took to redo that.
No, it's
morons learning history for the first time. Yeah, did you know that Muslims, who, by the way, venerate Jesus Christ, rebuilt the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Yeah, no shit. Obviously, they fucking would. It's part of their religion. Yeah. What do you mean? He isn't wrong? Yeah. I know that, but he already knew this. It's this insincere, like, spinning wheel of discovery where now that the big grift is being anti-Israel, you're like discovering for the first time that historically Islam has been fairly deferential to, you know what I mean? Fairly respectful of Christendom in the Middle East because they're all Abrahamic religions. It's all a show for the real idiots. Well, it's unfortunately like Zionists, both in America and abroad, have given a lot of ground to anti-Semites. Like, it is going to be so fucking easy to build a political career off of anti-Semitism for decades. You know what I mean? For decades. Because like it's so overwhelmingly easy to look at the past couple years of American discourse and foreign relations and derive some really bad conclusions. And they're just going to coast off that for ages and ages and ages. And God help us, man, if the Republicans ever flank properly on this. I'm putting the blame on the Democrats. Yeah, might as well. Why not? Yeah, have fun with it. Who cares? Whatever. I don't think they will. Pivot properly? Well, I hope not. It'd be great if they didn't. Is Chris Hayes one of the good ones? What the fuck are you talking about? Say what you're going to say. They used to, actually. Before 9/11, George W. Bush was courting Muslim voters and considered them natural Republicans over their pro-business sentiments. The relationship between America and Muslims is so weird. Remember that, like, right now and also, like, 60 years ago, converting to Islam was considered like a woke virtue signal. You know? Nation of Islam, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Black Panther Party. There was this sentiment that, like, converting to Islam meant it was like the ultimate symbol of your, like a rebuffing of American imperial and colonial interests abroad. Like you were, rediscovering the faith or whatever. Now, were these people actually Muslim? I don't know. Religious converts as adults, it's difficult to tell. That lady who just won in New York, what's her name? She did this as well, Daria Lisa, yeah. Black Panther Party was not Muslim? No, but a lot of people in the Black Panther Party ended up converting because it's like Malcolm X, right? There was a kind of a schism. Now, obviously, the Nation of Islam stuff ended up not really going in the right direction. You're probably not going to be surprised by this, but religiosity is actually a very bad predictor for consistent, moral and political progressivism. Immigrants can be a surprisingly viable bloc for conservative parties. Yeah, of course. A lot of them bring their goddamn third world bigotry over there, Bigotry is a third world ideology. It's where do you see it? You see it in the American third world. West Virginia, Oklahoma. You get me. Malcolm X was pre-Black Panther Party. BPP was atheist. Am I like completely misremembering? I thought I remembered reading up. Maybe I'm mixing up two bits of history in my head. That a lot of the people in the Black Panther Party ended up like converting and getting disillusioned. Am I completely misremembering that? Maybe I am. Well, I mean, either way, I was making a broader point about like converting to Islam being seen as a symbol of resistance, but I thought I remembered that happening more. No, maybe you're right. Yeah. Maybe that was more separate than I remembered it being, yeah. It was generally pretty popular among black people in the civil rights movement. Yeah. The Nation of Islam kind of collapsed after Malcolm X converted to actual Islam. Well, remember that on his deathbed, Malcolm X renounced a lot of that, ended up going down a bad, like it wasn't good. Right? The lesson here is not that all went well, It's such a weird dynamic too, because like I feel like to a lot of lefties, being Muslim in America is kind of like a sign of progressivism. In America, Muslims are more progressive than Christians on average, but if you go over to Europe, the average the average Muslim is like a fucking veil wearing, Sunni, we need to build we need like a caliphate across the entirety of Europe. They're like super duper far right. Super, super far right. Yeah, with their fucking enclaves, and they wear what's the veil? The mega veil. You know what I'm talking about. It's not the hijab. Am I thinking of the burqa? Yeah, the burqa. What's the niqab? Is that a different thing? I think I'm thinking of the niqab. Yeah, the niqab, not the burqa. No, wait, they both do it. Okay, the burqa has the mesh over the eyes. Niqab is level 3. I thought, no, the burqa is further along than the niqab. It's a whole thing. It's all barbaric. Yeah, there we go. Is this AI? No, it's not AI. I think it's because a lot of Muslims in America live in cities. Well, I think it's because a lot of the Muslims in Europe are like refugees, or they're the product of some regional conflict. But in America, the Muslims came over like more slowly. I think there was more like room for integration. I don't know. Why do you have grass lawn yards in America? When did that start? Because the burgeoning American upwardly mobile middle class wanted to replicate the gigantic, clean, flat lawns of the European aristocracy so that they could, do horseback riding or play gay lawn hammer or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It's a clumsy attempt by the middle class to replicate the aesthetics of wealth. Also, many European countries essentially did not integrate them for decades. That's why I've always said, like, that if you don't want people in your country wearing a burqa, and I sure as shit don't, like, the best thing you can do is start bringing the cookouts into the Muslim neighborhoods. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody would choose to live like this. You just have to integrate people a little bit. That's the reason why you have enclaves in London and Hamburg and shit like that. You've got these crazy, I'm blanking on a lot of terms today. What's the ultra far right, like Saudi-derived branch of Islamic thought that was like a reaction to Western influence? It was like a Salafism, Wahhabism. Yeah, those. You have the Wahhabist like crazies all over, and it's because they're like first or second generation, and they live in super tight enclaves, and it's like you have to bring them to the cookout, It doesn't help our politicians call for this shit. Yeah, no, this is what causes it. Denmark's immigration minister wants to ban the Islamic call to prayer. Yeah, this is exactly what causes it. You're like, oh no, you can't pray, which like, what the fuck, let them pray. And then they're like, okay, I guess we'll only pray in our super duper closed off, ultra conservative Wahhabist communities. And then they all stay crazy forever, Not good. Not good. Least racist Danish progressive? No kidding. Is he internalizing the Fox no-go zones being clue through repetition? Can you learn about the world and stop fucking projecting your ignorance onto me? I'm not saying no-go zones are real. I'm saying that there are enclaves of extremely conservative Muslims in many European cities. A no-go zone would imply that it's dangerous for a non-Muslim to walk around there. That's not true. But I didn't say that, thankfully. You hallucinated it because you're mentally ill. What I did say was that there are enclaves of far-right Muslims there, which is objectively true and inarguable. And if you want to argue with it, you might as well argue against the sun and the sky and the tides. Go and order the tides to recede during high tide, Don't take this anti-reality stance with me. Did you know bestiality was legal in Denmark until a few years ago? There were dog sex tourists. I don't understand. If bestiality is not legal in Denmark, how do they reproduce? You get it? Because, no, it's... Heyo! You get me. Well, fuck me then for dipping into stream while playing Hollow Knight Randomizer. What? If you're playing Hollow Knight Randomizer, why would you assume if you just dipped in midstream? Why would you fucking assume that I'm endorsing Fox News no-goes? Like, why would that be your default? I'm not even blaming you for not paying attention, but why is your default assertion so uncharitable? Like, I saw a guy in the subreddit the other day, and he was responding to some whining thread that was misattributing my statements about the people who got arrested at the anti-ICE thing when they shot the cops or whatever. And there was a person in the replies being like, well, I didn't see the segment, but if Bosch is really saying it's justified to have a 30-year sentence for moving Antifa magazines or whatever, then fuck him for that. And it's like, why would you assume? Why? I don't get it, man. What is wrong with your brains? Would you do this with everyone? Everyone's so fucking skeptical. But like in a bad way. Like it's not really skepticism. It's just like meaningless, reflexive, contrarian. Well, I'm so sensitive to perceived disagreement that I'm gonna assume that everyone. Why would I say that? Okay, sorry. What was I saying? People are going kind of crazy these days. Yeah. Anyway, the point that I was making is that I think it's odd that converting to Islam is seen as a kind of like woke signal in America as an adult, but converting to or not converting to, but like in Europe, you know, there's that's not really a thing. Like being a Muslim in Europe is much more right-wing coded. It's very it's sort of an interesting dynamic.